for some people to get in.
Yeah.
Oh, we got one in. Yeah, they left. They're like, yeah, not doing that.
Yeah, they're not here, so I'm just gonna switch on out.
Spilling my stuff. Damn it. Spilling it everywhere. Oh, we got one back. Oh, you know what? I forgot my laptop.
I'll go grab it. Where's is it in your room?
Yeah, on the floor.
All right. Okay.
How's the sound? Whoever's in here, is the sound okay? Guess not. All right. Wonder if somebody else is doing it. No, nobody else. Sweet. What's up, guys? Darrell Washington, what's up? Good to see you in here. Loud and clear. All right, sweet. Yeah, I had to switch. It was on the internal mic before, but I have this this little JLab microphone or whatever. Sometimes when I switch to it, it gets pretty staticky, so I just want to make sure. Blue Collar Fox, what's up, man? How you been? Oh, I saw that video you tagged me in of your car idling on Instagram. That thing sounds good, man. That sounds really good. I would be really happy with that cam if I was you. I'm sure you are. Which cam did you get again? Was that the 91 N91? Oh my God, this can is just... I'm glad this isn't on camera because they would be making fun of me.
Yeah, he's spilling everywhere.
Not everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's a couple drops. Luckily,
yeah, that's
luckily
oil.
it's a big
that's
can.
Oil, not...
All right, we're good. We're good now. Eric Griggs, what's up, man? Thanks. I was going to ask you. Yeah, that car, it sounds good. Car looks good too. I like the way it sits. I've always been a fan of the notchbacks too. N91. Okay, yeah, sweet. Yeah, that thing sounds good, man. That sounds real good. Dan Conlon said, "What's up, Mini Dan?" That's you.
Hi.
Cousin Paul, what's up, man? How you been? So cool to see you guys working on that motor together. Yeah, we you want to talk about the engine, John? The current state?
It's pretty close to being done. We're gonna try and get it. We're gonna try and get the motor in the seat in the truck by tomorrow. But
I think we'll be able to.
yeah.
We'll at least get it in, but it won't be running.
Yeah. We're still missing that darn, what's it called?
The oil filter adapter. Yeah. I don't know if I lost the oil filter adapter for it or if I think the machine shop actually took it off, maybe to clean some stuff. But there's a local place in town. One of the O'Reillys has it, so it's not a big deal. We'll get it.
Oh, we forgot to stop by O'Reilly.
Yeah, no, I said tomorrow. We were going. Doral Washington said, just got finished driving the vert. Did a couple 1-2 pulls until teacup spilled. Gotta hit Elmar up. Nice. What's going on here? Oh, okay. I accidentally held down the thing before. That's Robert. He changed his name to Loch Ness Fox. Said, I've been working on my Michigan Explorer all day. Nothing but rust in the face, broken bolts. Oof. There you go, Funky. Funky could attest to that Michigan rust, I bet. He pours that he as he says, schlaps that Pour 15 all over everything. Luckily, the stuff don't rust too bad down here, but I mean, it's still rust. There's a decent amount on the C10, but I just remember all the road salt and stuff when I lived up in Jersey, everything would rust. Oh, and then he said, "What's up, little bud?" Getting to be big, bud. I think he grew 1.5 inches since you've been here. That's for you.
Yeah, I figured out what leverage is, so yeah, I think I got it figured out now.
Yeah, he figured out leverage, so he's got the torque wrench figured out. But what he did find out was that the shorter torque wrench, just because he could do 110 with that big long torque wrench, 45 with the short one was kind of tough, right?
Well, that was because it was.
Here come the excuses.
It was at the front, and I was more towards the rear, and I was at an angle, and
then the sun, it just the moon
wind,
wasn't
the wind.
Wick Leo Van says he got a transformer in the garage. Hello. If this is the transformer, I guess maybe. What's the plan for the big block motor? Stock-ish rebuild. Do you want to talk about that since that's your thing? What did we do to it? What actually went into the big block?
Since last video?
No. What's the setup on it? He wants to know what we did to it. So, did we do a huge cam heads? What did we do to it?
Not really much. A lot of it's stock, but we put different valve springs on them.
Yeah, so
we had a bit of trouble with it.
Yeah,
because
we didn't have enough leverage was the problem.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So with the big block, which John's killing it on. I have so much footage. I'm gonna have to make a whole bunch of videos, but I'm running out of SD card space. But so John, we've got it pretty well done, but the setup on it. So just to answer that, it's just a 454 bored 30 over and had to be bored because the cylinder walls were pitted. And then the only thing we threw in it is the equivalent to an RV cam. It's like a 500 lift. I think it's like a 485, 501 lift, pretty mild cam, but it's supposed to help with low torque. So we'll have a good little stump puller. Outside of that, we had to upgrade the valve springs. So we did a set of trick flow valve springs, but outside of that, the rest of it is it's 454, basically just 30 over. So it'll be a fun little car a fun little truck too. It'll be a burnout machine, obviously, but we'll have to hope Aiden doesn't go too crazy in it. Oh, I missed what Funky said up here. Oh, somebody out there shooting. Funky 50, what's up, brother? He said, "What's up? Just got finished driving my car like I stole it." That's what I'm talking about. Got a little sideways ear to ear smile. Fun times. That's awesome, man. Was that your first wide open throttle, pulled a red line? Because I know you shortchanged me last time I asked you to do it. Doral Washington says, "Hey, I'm going to keep you updated on the progress of my 83 coupe. 83 coupe I have, and I'm proud to see you and your son sharing a passion." Thanks, man. Yeah, it's good that he shares it with me. It's a lot of fun. I just hope he's a little more responsible than I was throughout the years up to this point, but that's just, I just have to advise him, I guess, and then it's up to him. But yeah, it's definitely, and then for sure, 83 coupe. I love that 79 to 84, even 86 up to 86. Those are some of my favorite Foxes. So definitely keep me updated on that. Slap it on. Yeah, he's talking about that poor 15. Oh, I live there too. I bought Explorer from my cousin. It sucks. Did you fix the fuel pump on it, Rob? I know you were saying you had to do a fuel pump on it. They're all watching. This is awesome. Yep. I think it's pretty cool so far. So far, so good. Okay, and then like I said, Loch Ness Fox, that's Robert. He's been on really all the Fox Buddy channels. He told me he changed his name. Did you change it on Instagram too? Did I see it on Instagram that you say you changed it? Coyote 5.04 says, does an AOD and a C4 use the same drive shaft? To be honest, I'm not sure about the AOD. This was a T5 car, so a stick car, and the C4 bolts right up to it, and the same drive shaft too. So as far as an AOD, to be quite honest, I've never owned an AOD Fox. So if somebody in here has that information, please drop it in for Coyote 5.04. Thank you, Cousin Paul. Talking to him. That'll be fun. Yeah. So, and that's the other thing too. I didn't want to build the. So he said that should be fun for his first car. We didn't really want to build anything too rowdy for, my stepson whose truck that it's gonna be, because I don't want him to go out there and do anything crazy. That's really just for him to get out on the road. It's a big giant chunk of steel, and when he's done with it, I'll just grab it back and we'll figure something. He wants to grab it next, and I won't blame him because that'd be the first engine you've built. Which to put that out there too, John has done literally, I'd say 97% of the work on this thing. I've been pointing do this, do that, do this, or I'll grab a wrench and show him something like he did valve adjustment today, valve lash, and I showed him on the first one, and then he just did the whole thing. So he's done this entire thing himself. I think he just needed me for a little bit of muscle. I helped him lift the heads on and stuff like that. But you guys will see it in the video. He works quick too. Any recommendations for torque box reinforcements and frame connectors? The winter's going to be about suspension, chassis stiffening. As far as torque box reinforcements, I don't have any. But I know I guess it really depends on how far you want to go. I know there's a company out there that actually you would cut out the torque boxes and weld in basically like an entire steel. I have the picture of the product in my head, and it's more of a 4-link setup. So you can actually adjust the bar angle and stuff. I've seen people and heard good things about the ones that they just sell on LMR, the ones that kind of weld in from the floor inside the car and then underneath. And I've also talked to people who just basically go in the spots around the torque boxes where they typically peel up, and they just kind of weld those sections. So you could always look into doing that too. But yeah, and then as far as subframe connectors, I've heard the Maximum Motorsports ones are really good. I believe TRZ is another company that's really good. I was cheap. I just got some Jegs brand ones and welded them in, and they're holding up okay. But I would say Maximum Motorsports is probably the way I would go for subframe connectors. Eric Greek says, just have to say, you Neon Funky put out some cool videos. Dan watched the thing moved. Dan watched quite a few of your videos for Holley install, etc. So thanks for taking the time to make them oh yeah, no problem, man. I enjoy that stuff. And I give it back to you because I find a lot of this information through other sources. A lot of it's from the LS community doing the Holley Terminator stuff. But, when I find it, I just like to give it right back. Some of the stuff is that I found out the hard way as well, but that's really just how I am. Dan Collins said, memories that you guys will both have forever. Yeah. And that's kind of the purpose of the videos too, unless YouTube goes somewhere, those videos always be there. So when he's my age showing his kid hey, I built an engine, I built a big block with grandpa, he's going to be like, we got electric cars, Dad. What's a big block? You can be like, well, here, look. Rob's, okay, his it's running. The rack and pinion was leaking everywhere. I actually got a rack and pinion right there for a Fox. Everything I touched broke off. That's the worst, man. Just finished the Terminator install on my Sonic notchback. And then I lost my spot because the chat moved. Where was I? Right here. With the help of your videos. Oh, awesome, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they really helped. There's a lot of good stuff out there. I've learned a lot from other guys too. Fixed Body Mustangs did a pretty solid video too. Way to go, John. You have a great mentor. Okay, Eric says, I suggest Wild Rides battle boxes. So that sounds like the torque box reinforcement. I'll have to check those out. I don't have any. I don't even know if I really need any because I have the cage, which is welded to the subframe connectors. But when I really kind of start going wild and crazy with the car, I would look into the ones I was mentioning earlier, where you basically cut out the whole torque box section and then weld in that, it's like its own frame, and then it has holes so you can adjust, the angle of your upper bars and stuff depending on whatever surface you're running. Funky said, wide open throttle on a curvy road for you. I got a wide open throttle on a curvy road for you. Love it, dude. Which was stupid. It ran out of road. Hey, remember I said that one time where you're going, you don't need roads. I'm glad that thing's running good, though. I mean, I knew it would. And you got a pretty stout setup, too. Good set of heads, good cam. I bet that thing's a ton of fun. I can't wait to see it one day at one of these shows. Probably next year. Well, if I can get to any next year. Okay, cool. Probably do a mix of that stuff. Dylan Carey said, if you can weld, Team Z has I'm assuming a kit you weld that is pretty good price. Yeah, I love Team Z stuff. If you go through DNA High Performance and Tyler Davis on Facebook, he can get you a better deal. Okay, yeah, check that out. I've actually just got this car is sitting up on jack stands because we were supposed to go racing last Saturday, and instead I took it down the road, and then it came and sat right here, and it's been sitting right here ever since. The rear lower control arms in this car, which they were fine when I first got the car, and I just never touched them. But those 140/60 foots really took a toll, and there's the bushings are completely gone on the lowers. So I'm just waiting for some stuff to come in. Which we just went and picked up a whole bunch of E85 today too. This stuff's supposed to be here this week. Smitty's Bad 5.0. What's up, man? Welcome to the live stream. Funky said, I got some Maximum Motorsports subframe connectors for Ginger, the coupe. Nice stuff. Yeah, I'm having fun watching that Ginger build. All the floor pan install and all that stuff. I'm actually having more fun finding like the stuff that you found, because people hack these cars up, man, and do stupid stuff to them. So that's like the most entertaining thing for me is when, like the whole hanging the exhaust from the brake line and stuff like that. Team Z also has subframe connectors that go in the factory frame rails through the floor. Yeah, I like the through the floor stuff. Actually, I really like that stuff. I think if I ever change this, which I'm sure one day I will, I would definitely go for the like through the floor subframe connectors that they have. What's up, Black Mamba? I'll not make changes to my Terminator X. I just don't feel comfortable. Why not? Are you talking as far as fuel changes, timing changes, or any changes at all? What makes you uncomfortable about it? Team Z, you weld torque boxes. Team Z, okay, weld torque boxes come as a kit. It's all laser cut, tab, slot. You just put it together and weld it at the seams. Yeah, like I said, Team Z, they make some awesome stuff, and their stuff is relatively affordable, especially for as good of quality as they are. And they're up in, I think they're up in Detroit or like Michigan area. got a new carpet. I can't go through the floor. Are you talking about 4 subframe connectors? This site makes me want to get a Project Fox body. Yeah. That's my problem. I want like too many Project Fox bodies. Every day I'm looking for a new project, and I'm like, I haven't even finished this thing. We didn't put the engine back in that yet. And I'm like, oh, this guy's selling an 86 coupe for cheap.
I remember you were sending me a bunch of 3rd gen Camaros.
Yeah. I was looking for a 3rd gen well, I mean, I kind of still am. If the right 3rd gen came around, I would buy it like that. That's what like we grew up on. You know, me and my buddies, like Fox bodies and 3rd gens. That's what we had. Okay, all changes. I just put a fresh 347 in the car with a 70 millimeter turbo. Sweet. I don't want to implode the motor. That's 100% understandable. And I have my laptop right here. If you have any questions, I can share the screen. I can fire it up, share the screen. But what I would say, Smitty, is as far as fuel changes, right? You know, it's really just comes down to data log. And so you hop on the data log. You know, if your car is compensating a lot of fuel either in or out, you know, make those changes within that range on the fuel table. And if you get it wrong, the car will still just compensate, or the computer will compensate for your fuel. And I'm a big advocate for a little bit at a time, right? So a little bit of fuel at a time. What I'd say the biggest thing that kills these cars is timing. I've been told that time and time again. I've seen it time and time again. And so that's really the one thing that I would say is you slowly creep up on, especially with boost. So that's one where I would really, you got to really research. And to be quite honest, getting my car on the dyno was really what helped me a lot as far as finding out what timing works. Because we found out the timing that I was running, if people have seen the video, they'd seen I was running too much timing. So when I would pull timing out, I was actually picking up horsepower. But I 100% understand exactly what you just said, because that was me at first. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and go for it. And then, got to where I'm at now. Brian Sullivan, cheers, man. I'm drinking a Foster's, by the way. I don't know how or why I decided on this, but I used to drink Foster's way back in the day, like 10, 12 years ago, because when I was in Afghanistan, we had some Australians that, they always talked about it. So I ended up grabbing some, and it's just like, I don't know, it's a regular light-ish kind of beer, especially for like a hot, humid day like today. I'm still reading and trying to learn it on. And Smitty, that's like, honestly, that's exactly what you should be doing, right? Try and learn it, read all about it, and then make subtle changes here and there. You don't have to go all in and try and just give your car the best tune as possible, But even if the car, say it has a hiccup in, a certain spot, just try and mess with it a little. And then, like I said, if it doesn't work as far as fuel wise, the computer will add whatever it needs to, as long as your, target air fuel stuff is set. Where Funky said we repaired the floor and now going to cut the shifter hole bigger. Yeah, that was an auto car too, wasn't it? Cleckley Motor Works. Always enjoy the content. Love that your son is involved with the hobby too. Thanks. I mean, we really, I try and put out stuff that's interesting and fun for everyone, family friendly and stuff. And like I was saying before, it's fun that he enjoys it too. But you did actually you got a little frustrated today. You want to talk about that? Hold on, look into the camera. Don't be looking away.
So when we were putting on
the valve covers, the easiest thing in the whole engine.
We were putting on the valve covers, and I don't know what they did to the bolts before it. I'm blaming the bolts. I don't care. But I don't know if I was just tired and didn't realize that it was already loosened. I thought that it wasn't going. I thought that the socket wasn't going on to onto the bolt, but it turns out it just was already loosened. So.
Yeah, he was highly frustrated, and he the kid, like I'm saying, he's built the whole thing himself. I mean, checked bearing clearances, connecting rods, piston ring. The kid did it all, and he's putting 5 bolts in the valve cover and just flipping out. And I was like, he gets it. He's turning into me. And I was like, dude, what's wrong? He's like, I can't get the sucker on the. And I was like, dude, just chill out, chill out. And he was like, yeah, just he basically understood that this stuff is frustrating. And exactly what he said to me. What'd you say to me? What do we need to do after a long day of work?
I don't know.
He said take breaks. He's like, man, he's like, I understand why. Because at first he was like, are we going outside to build this engine like right now? And I was like, John, like, I'm tired, buddy. We do a little bit. Let's go inside. But he understood like you need to take a break when you're working on this stuff, and it was fun for me. We didn't get it on camera. I wasn't filming at that time. But it was pretty funny. Let's get back to some of these comments. It's a sickness owning a Fox. It definitely is. It's a healthy habit, healthy sickness, but financially horrible.
Yeah, I was about to say, especially for the wallet.
Yeah, financially horrible. But in the end, it's all worth it. All right, let me get back to this. I put them in my car last winter, and what a difference. I love how it handles with the connectors. Yeah, these subframe, like even jacking the car up, when you jack these cars up, you can actually, basically, you can jack the car up, put it on jack stands, and when you go to open the door, the frame is, it will actually flex. So, I mean, those subframe connectors, they're a lifesaver. And then when I got the cage in the car, it was even more of like, it's way stiffer now, totally different car. So yeah, but subframe connectors at a minimum, honestly, any Fox body, even if you're just going to like, beef it up a little bit, drive it down the road, have fun with it. But I would say every Fox honestly needs a set of subframe connectors welded in, or at least bolted in. I mean, something. Dan says, my wife calls it car porn whenever I'm watching these sites. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, I spend a lot of time watching. I watch a lot of Motor Trend too, but a lot of stuff on YouTube. Actually, one of my favorite YouTube channels. Did you watch that Pakistani truck channel with me? It's like the dudes in Pakistan that work on those heavy duty trucks.
Oh yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones to watch. I would love to put a roll bar in there too. Yeah, the roll bar definitely helps in this thing. The anti-roll bar is something that I need to do in the rear, because even when I take off now, the driver's side tire will come up higher than the passenger. I mean, the body flexes a little bit still. And the drain plug. I have to upgrade the fuel pump, and then I can get into the tuning stuff. What kind of fuel pump you got now, Smitty? And then what fuel pump are you trying to go to? Because yeah, 347, 70 mil turbo. I would go with at least a 3. Well, it depends on what fuel you're running. I mean, I would say 340 at minimum, but 380, you can run E85 probably too on that. I used to drink a lot of Fosters. Yet I used to back, 10 or so years ago. Yeah, I mean, these Aussie dudes that I was working with, or Aussie, however they say it, they would get mad because I would say it wrong. And I'm like, whatever, dude, I guess accent to them, but I'm late waiting on my AFR 205s next week or two. That's a nice head right there. I need some 205s. I reached out to Blueprint Engines and was like, hey, I run your guys' stuff. I've been an advocate for a while for it. I'm positive I've sold you a couple engines based off of comment sections from older videos, but I mean, they never emailed me back. No surprise. Thanks again for your service. I appreciate that. Thanks. Love the channel. Have a good night. Thanks, Smitty. You too. It ain't wrenching if you ain't cussing. Tell them. I get frustrated. I mean, he sees that. You can see it now. We all end up becoming some form of our parents, don't we? Yeah. I love the planning and design and talking about the setup. I find that if I don't set a time crunch on whatever I'm doing, it's more enjoyable. Yeah, that's it too. Like, I was joking around, like like I told him, I was like, I'm driving this truck on Monday. I better drive it Monday to work. But I mean, in reality, that's why I love working on the cars that I could just leave in the garage and not trying to make my daily driver fast because if it breaks, I can just slow roll, do whatever, and then when I want to get to it, get to it. Guys are saying hello to each other. A good amount of people in here. We had like 24, 25 people in here before.
Yeah.
What else we got going on? Really just the engine because we're waiting on this stuff. The battery randomly died for this out of nowhere. No clue how or why either. I turned it on one day. It was actually when I was going to take it down the road the other day. Turned it on, the fuel pump just sounded dead, barely. And I was like, oh, maybe it's out of fuel, which actually now it's out of fuel. But, it was like 10 volts. So I was like, okay, let me charge it up. So I charged it up the next day. Yeah, all day. Came back out. It was dead again. And then I was wondering, like, oh, man, I got to have a parasitic draw or something. And I was like, before I start chasing ghosts, I pulled the battery out, and I had another battery that I was charging. I put that battery in, hooked it up, charged the other battery again overnight, came back out the next day, put my voltmeter on the battery that was in the car, and it was dead again. So I was like, all right, this battery's just dead. Luckily, because I thought maybe like putting the injectors in or something, maybe, I must have shorted a wire out or something like that, but luckily not. Eric Griggs said, did you ever figure out the two-step with a Holley with a Terminator or still using the MSD? I'm in the same boat. I've currently got it wired working off the MSD. Haven't messed with the Holley side yet. So I haven't messed with it. I've just kept it running off of the MSD box because it works so well. But what I've read on the forums is that for a while, when I was messing with it, I was on the V1 software with Holley. And apparently over time, with the V2 software, they updated it to make the two-step work better. So I haven't tried it yet, and I don't think I'm going to just because the MSD is working really, really well for me. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. All I had to do was, I forget, even though I don't have a trans brake, but the two-step button, Holley uses a lot of stuff where basically sets it as ground activated right away. I've just to piggyback off of, to basically have the trans brake button in the Holley and the MSD basically work off the same, like the same wiring or whatever. I just had to change the input to a 12 volt instead of ground. But I mean, it works perfect. So that's why I'm not going to mess with it. Because if I mess with it, then I'll screw it up and probably break something. Just keeping up with the world. Working on okay, they must be talking to each other. Which Monday? That's the question. Dan got to run. Keep up the great work. Thanks. Hey, Dan, thanks for stopping in. Dan's been an OG subscriber for forever. Instagram, YouTube, everything. So I really appreciate it, man.
That is a good question. Which Monday?
Yeah, right. Oh, for the truck running? Yeah, I was talking about tomorrow. No, Monday, the next day. So this Monday.
Yeah.
I don't think, to be quite honest, if we thrashed on it, and if I probably did a lot more, I guarantee you I could drive it on Monday, but I'm not trying to drive it on Monday.
Maybe Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, depending on the weather, we probably could. I know my wife wants me to get it running because she's tired of that truck sitting in that same spot.
Then we'll just leave it there.
Right? I'll just keep parking it there every day. But I'm honestly anxious to drive it too. I mean, I love those trucks. Always love those trucks. Plus, I want to drive it around, get knock some of the kinks out of it before we actually hand it over to my stepson and he starts driving on it. I want to give him a nice, safe car or truck. That's also fun too. Paul the Fox, what's up, man? How you been? Hey, if anyone, I mean, there's only a few people in here, but if you don't watch Paul the Fox, check him out. He's putting out a lot of great stuff. He did a pretty solid giveaway too the other day on his channel. Oh, and then I was talking to Donnie B we were talking about the injectors that I'm running in my car. And I think, what he was telling me he's planning on doing is because they only list those injectors. Holley only lists them for like LS1, LS2, LS3 or whatever. And of course I was like, whatever, I'll buy them and throw them in this thing. So being that you need those adapters and then the spacers to run these injectors. Donnie B was talking about for Anderson Ford Motorsport, they're going to put together that whole package basically, so you can just go straight to them and buy, the Terminator X specific injectors for a small block Ford. You just buy the kit from him and throw it right in. You don't have to try and piece everything together like I did. Are you still letting your Terminator X have 100% correction, or have you backed it down? And at what point did you limit Terminator's correction? So no, never been at 100%. I started at 50 and then I worked it. I have I think I left each block at about 20%, except for the blocks that I haven't tuned in yet. They're still at 50, but I could probably knock them down. But yeah, I limit it to 20% correction. And it's really the way that my car is set up. I've really only ran the car up to 6 pounds now because of the rear issue. But I'm still really only correcting like between 2 and 5%. So that's really 20% is about what I allow it. But at first 50, allow it to do 50. And then I don't like to let it have such a huge learn curve too. If I see that it's learning 20%, I'll zero the whole entire table out, adjust that fuel percentage, and then allow it to learn all over again. And then usually it knocks it down to where it's, I think I'm learning 3 to 8%, in the typical RPM areas that I've been in. Paul says hi to everyone in the stream. Funky, sup, Paul? Thanks for the shot. Yeah, no problem, man. And honestly, I don't know why I haven't watched Paul. I don't know why I haven't been watching you longer. It seems like you've been around for a little bit, but I came across you. Actually, I think you came across me and then I started watching your stuff. But that Fox you haven't seen his Fox. He's got a red notchback. This thing is awesome. And you're doing Holley Dominator, aren't you, Paul? Yeah, that SN95 you posted too, Paul. That thing, ripping. I learned from Tony D Freestyle and Leash Electronics. Their stuff looks like some great components. We've got to work out the bugs. To be quite honest with the Terminator, the most annoying thing, and a guy came today and bought some parts off me, and we were talking about it. The most annoying thing is the Ford idle air control valve. And I don't think it's a Holley specific issue. I think it's just this Ford idle air control motor is just trash. And there's those tables out there where you can, create a 1D and have it work from 40% on up. But for the longest time, I could not get this car specifically to idle well at all. And they tell you don't let the IAC go to 0%. But when I would, get it between 1 and 10, but when then I would try and do that, it wouldn't idle at all. It would just surge the whole time. So I had to, for this car, create a 1D table, which I think Leach Motorsports put out a video on it. There's a few guys that put out a video on it. I kind of use that, but it's not as extreme as them. I think I basically keep the idle air control between 40 and 55 at all times. It never goes above either of those. And now I've got it to where it's pretty dialed in for my car. The other thing too, I'll say about these injectors, I was able to knock 100 RPM off of my idle because the injectors are much more stable. You know, I had the Siemens Deca 60s before, and I had to idle between maybe 900 and 1,000, I think it idled at. And if I tried to go lower, it would get very unstable, and nothing that I ever did helped it. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. This is just where it idles at. But then with these, I was like, you know what? Let me try it, because I don't like it idling that high. So I've got it knocked down to about 750, 780 RPM idle, and it's as smooth as can be. The cam sounds a little nicer too now that's, you know, at a lower RPM. So these, if you're doing Terminator stuff, the Terminator X injectors with the setup that I have, and then like I said, they make smaller sizes too. You know, if you don't have a turbo or whatever, or forced induction or nitrous or whatever, but they're pretty stable, and for the price, I don't think you can beat it. Dominator, okay, sweet, yeah, man, I'd like to get a Dominator one day. My plans kind of changed when I got this car, which is why when I initially bought the Terminator, I bought the Fox body specific one, which is really working out great for me so far. But yeah, Dominator, it's like a legit race car. It's pretty sweet. I'll show you later.
Already pulled up.
Oh, you checked it already? I saw you over there messing. You're still running stock bushings under the rear. No, I think there were some Chinese control arms. They were aftermarket. And like I said, when I first got the car, I had to do the uppers because the uppers were trashed. The lowers looked okay, so I was like, whatever, I'll just leave the lowers. But yeah, I mean, that's the problem with, you know, pulling the wheels up off the ground with cheap stuff. You know, it breaks pretty easy. But I got some Team Z stuff coming, and it's that, you know, rigid, one bolt goes through it. It's all steel. There's, you know, none of that polymer bushing stuff or whatever. So I was contemplating even just taking the car basically out for the year and really doing a lot of stuff to the rear, but I'm not ready to do that yet. So I just got the Team Z lower control arms. Oh my God, Dan, I felt that statement in my soul. Ford IAC. It is. It's absolute garbage. There's really nothing more to say about that. It's really hard to get this idle air control stable in this at all, really. I'm seriously concerning Holley Sniper EFI and Hyperspark system. I actually looked at a Sniper for that truck, but I like the carb stuff too. I'm worried about that IAC for the stock motor. Yeah, Rob, this I'd say I don't know. Yeah, with Holley, it caused a lot of people a lot of problems when the Terminator X first came out, and then people got it figured out. The biggest problem at first was they didn't know to pin it in output 4 because we didn't read the little thing that's asterisk that told you like pin it in number 4 so it works. So a lot of people were forgetting to do that, which is pretty easy to, you know, figure out. But then even when you set it up right and it just still doesn't work, I mean, it's just very, very finicky. It takes a lot to get it dialed in. And then whatever I put in my car probably won't work, you know, because what I put in my car that got it stable, I sent it to Funky and I was like, hey, dude, upload this. Let me know how the car idles. And he was like, dude, the throttle or the RPM just hangs when I go to shift. And I was like, all right, never mind, you know, and I put it back to the way it was. So that's the other thing too. Just because it works in this guy's car or my car, it's not going to work. It might not work in your car. I'm going to run a dry nitrous on my 351 over the winter. That'd be fun. I was watching some nitrous stuff today. What was I watching?
I want to talk about some nitrous.
Oh, no, it was Cooper Baguetti.
Oh.
He bought like a V6 Camaro and he like did put a shot of nitrous on it or something. Spherical bushings. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what the Team Z ones are. And it's the double adjustable ones. John Doe, what's up, man? Happy Saturday. I want to get nitrous, but I feel like it's cheating. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's what I say. I listened to Dale Jr.'s podcast. Anybody listen to that? I'm not a huge NASCAR fan. I love NASCAR, but just listening to him talk about the ins and outs, and he basically openly admitted that he's never driven a car or raced a car that would have passed like tech by the book. I mean, they passed tech obviously, but he calls it his crew chief being creative. So that's the way I look at it. I'm not cheating. I'm being creative. Just checking you and your son out. Nice content, my man. Appreciate it. Yeah, we got, to be honest, the next bunch of videos will probably be mainly John's engine build, which is going very quick. So this, like I said, I've got a video. I just have to edit it for this, really. Probably have it out.
2 videos.
2? What's the other one? No, I said about this. Yeah, that's what I said. I've got a whole bunch on his stuff. I've only got about maybe 1-ish video on the brown car. But next weekend, we're going to go to watch Dig or Die down here. It's a no prep, like back of the track run down at Rockingham. So we'll probably get we'll have some footage from it. I mean, it probably won't be like anything crazy, but Funky said, okay, what? Richard Overvold. Richard Overvold says, nitrous is nice. I've never driven a nitrous car, but I mean, I have zero issues with it. Actually, I thought about doing nitrous on this car. Funky says, shoot, Dan, even though the IAC is trash, you reeled it in. Mine's running good. You got creative. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Everyone is different, and the way that I got it reeled in is looking at the data. You know, that you really need to look at, you know, it's really not that it's funny, but you go into a lot of these forums or Facebook groups and stuff, and people are like, what's wrong with my car? It's doing this. Like, send me the data, dude. You show me the data and I can see what it's doing. Because if you say, you know, hey, when I start the car, it idles up to 2,500 RPM and then just hangs there, you know, yeah, it's mainly IAC probably, but it could be cranking fuel. It could be after start enrichment. It could be so many different things. I'm just a big fan of show me the data, you know. I'm also a big fan of Show Me the Money. That was that movie, Jerry Maguire. You don't know about that. Black Mama says, Coyote 5104. Okay, they must be talking. Yes, it'll work. AOD slightly longer. Okay, so that drive. So his question earlier was will it AOD drive shaft fit a C4? So the Black Mama says yes, it will work. AOD slightly longer, just add a spacer. I didn't know that because, like I said, I was using T5 and the C4, same exact drive shaft. It bolted right up, same length and everything. Paul the Fox, love your content, and especially the last video with your son building the motor. Appreciate it. Yeah, we got more of that coming up. I can't wait till we get that thing started. I'm curious because I feel like what's going to happen. I feel like there's going to be it's either going to fire. No, you built it's going to fire right off. If I built it, I'd be chasing gremlins for 2 days before it started.
Or another scenario would be like, what's that director? I'm trying to think of his name.
Quentin Tarantino?
No. I think the one with all the explosions.
Oh, Michael Bay?
Yeah, it's going to be like a Michael
It better
Bay
not.
movie.
That'll hurt my wallet. No, he built it. It's going to fire right off. I held up the camera and I was like, I'm going to get him right here. He's going to put the timing chain on this thing. And it took me forever to get the thing off. It literally took him 2.6 seconds to put this thing on. I was like, okay, well, there goes that. I was considering a Zex system that mounts under my carb. What do you guys recommend? I'm not a nitrous guy. So yeah, what do you guys recommend for nitrous? I know those plate systems and stuff. I mean, that's probably the way I would go too. I would definitely get one of those plate systems if I was going to do nitrous on it, especially on a carb motor. Hey, John Doe, happy Saturday. I've got Team Z's complete front rear suspension. I think it's called the Grip Series. I did see that with their welding anti-roll bar, strange shocks, super nice stuff. Nice. Yeah, I got I have strange struts in the front with the coilovers, and then Viking double adjustables in the rear, which I absolutely love. The car actually hooks amazing off of what I have set up, which I'm really surprised at. But yeah, I mean, I definitely need to obviously beef up the suspension, especially in the rear. Dylan Carey, got to go for now. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, got my last night right. Sweet. Oh, last name. Probably last name. Yeah, it took me a second. I thought it said Overlord, and I was like, that's an awesome last name. And then I looked back and was like, nope, Overvold. What's up, Loch Ness? I like the Zex system. I don't know what that means. Big block power. Yep.
He's talking about the question from up there.
Oh, okay. You got it. Sweet. Thanks for the content. Appreciate that. FPVJT. Pip Tyson, what broke on the Fox? So the rear lower control arms, the bushings in them no longer exist. We were going to take the car racing last time we were on here. I was like, yeah, we're going to go racing tomorrow. I took the car down the road, and the rear was just swaying. As soon as I would hit the gas, I would feel it, just kind of walking around. And I was like, what is going on? So I jacked it up, crawled under, and yeah, their lower control arm bushings are just completely gone. So it's been sitting on jack stands ever since, partly because I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I was going to just basically take the car out of commission and fully invest in a solid rear suspension setup, like have the rear, completely built, good suspension in the rear. And then I was like, you know what? This stuff works as good as it does. Let's just get some lower control arms and call it a day. So I'm just waiting on those to get here. They should be here. I think it said Tuesday. Okay, yeah, name. That's what I thought. Beginner's luck. Yeah, this kid has it.
I'm just like really good. So
you're just really good.
Yeah, just
well,
really,
where'd you
really
learn?
Good. I don't know. Some random
the internet.
Guy. I don't know. Some random guy. He kind of showed up at the house.
Dick. Get some new stuff. Yeah, I'm getting new stuff. I got the China stuff also junk. Yeah, and I didn't buy that stuff. It was in the car, so it's not like I've invested in some Chinese cheap stuff every now and again, but something like rear suspension, I wouldn't have bought that. But it was in there. It wasn't broke, so I ran it till it broke. Which I've said that before. I use something till it breaks. If it's there, and then I get something that's better.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As long as it works.
Yeah.
Like works. Because some things aren't broke, but they don't work.
Well, then that means that they're broke. They don't work.
Paul Speed Chop says, just found your channel doing a turbo small block Ford in my Fairmont. Nice. Keep up the cool videos. Appreciate that. I actually looked at a Fairmont for sale like 4 years ago. And
wasn't it before we got the...
Yeah, it's still 86. For sale. Still for sale in the same spot. Because the Fairmonts are, I think they're cool. Because like back in the day, like when I was a kid, that was like an old lady's car. No one was really driving Fairmonts. And then the Mercury had the Zephyr, which is like the same car, equally as cool. But it's a Fox chassis. If you laid under both of them, you would think it's the same car because it's the same chassis. I love the Fairmont stuff. What size, Paul Speed Shop, what size small block Ford are you going to have in that? And then turbo setup and all that stuff, if you're willing to disclose it. Robert says, my nitrous is going and spacer plate. Terminator will run the rest. Yeah, Terminator has a really good, it's really easy to run like progressive nitrous setups and all that stuff. Paul says, everyone smash the like button. Yes, please. For some reason, I have like an instant hater. As soon as I post anything, instant dislike, like within seconds. I wish I did not. Like, could you imagine if we just had no life and was like waiting for that notification on
I
your
mean,
phone?
it could also be like a bot.
It's probably, you know what? It's probably my wife. Yeah, it might be a bot because I think something it'll usually go away too. Like it'll pop up and then it'll just go away. That's what's up. Blue Collar Fox says, same with mine. Cheaper Chinese control arms. I doubt I can break them. I don't drag race much since my track shut down. Which did Atco shut down? Because I think that was the only one left up there in Jersey, right? When I was younger, we used to race at Raceway Park. I remember Atco had one.
Isn't Wall?
Did Wall have one? That's by you, right?
Wall
I thought that
one,
was
yeah.
Circle Track.
They've got. I think it's newer. So they've got a drag strip.
Well, even
Yeah.
Is there
Walls? I remember going. We went there. Well, I went there. I don't know who I went with. A few years, like probably 2 years ago. 2 years ago. There's a dirt bike track, some drift track, and a drag strip.
Okay. We used to watch Demolition Derby at Wall.
Yeah, and there's also like monster trucks.
Oh yeah,
you can ride in the back of.
You can ride in the back of them.
I think there's like a trailer or some crap.
That's got to be the only cool thing in New Jersey.
I mean, you can. There's like ancient landmarks called roads there.
It's funny. I lived in Jersey for 20 some odd years, and I was dodging. We went there a couple weeks ago. I was dodging the same potholes I was dodging when I got my license 20 some odd years ago. There is actually some cool landmarks, though. There's a lot of history there, a lot of Revolutionary War stuff. Where are we at? Obviously, you got some nice pieces and quality parts. Yeah, John Doe. I mean, like I said, if something breaks on the car, if it's cheap and it's there, I just leave it. But when it breaks, I try and at least, invest in something that's a little better quality. I can't always buy the top-notch stuff, so you guys can't buy this kind of entertainment. Yeah, it's usually pretty entertaining around these parts. I had to walk out of a store today because we went to a hobby shop and I was like, you know what? We need to buy like 4 of these drag RC cars and start our own little no prep drag racing because we got a nice long driveway up front. But I was like, and I'm pretty like John, like he was like, let's go look at the airplanes in the back, and I'm like, let's go, let's leave.
They also had the pretty cool. So it was like a Lego, like a small little Lego set, but it was a Challenger tank.
He knows more about tanks and aircraft and all that stuff, like from World War II, probably even before up. He knows. He'll ask me stuff like, "Dad, do you guys use X, Y, and Z?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I sit behind a computer now, so I really don't know." But even when I was doing that fun stuff, like dislikes help the channel as much as likes. Screw it. Hey, I didn't know that, but yeah, if they do, then why not? It's funny though. Every time, as soon as I post it, dislike. I'm like, it's either
They're giving you views though.
No, it's got to be a bot because it won't have a view. It'll just show up as a dislike. So yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's like one of those like subscriber bots, but set for like dislikes.
I'm gonna say it's a hater.
What if it's like a robot that sits in front of a computer, like one of those animatronic robots, and waits until you it refreshes until you post a new video, just automatically. Actually, let's check if the stream has a dislike.
Let's get back to this. Let's see. Okay, Englishtown. Yeah, Englishtown. That closed. I thought that closed a while ago. I used to race there. Yeah, when I was younger. Not race. I had a slow car, but we used to go down there and have fun. Atco's open. I thought Atco was closing. Okay, yeah, he said Wallace Circle Track cars. That's what I remembered. Circle Track down at Wall.
Probably somewhere else. I'm thinking of.
What the little guy's talking about is Raceway Park. Yeah.
Is that in Wall?
No, that's Old Bridge.
Same thing.
I bought my first ever Nintendo NES game at the Englishtown Flea Market. It was Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And I bought it there, right? I got $5 for, I might have been 5 or 6 years old. I think I was Lizzie's age. And I forget what it might have been my birthday. I had a $5 bill, which back then was, gold. We went to Englishtown Flea Market and I bought Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Played it on the NES.
That's spooky.
Yeah. Oh, we still play that on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. For some reason,
Punch Out.
For some reason, mine doesn't work. This point did.
Yeah.
But
hit that like button, everyone. Yep, if you want to. Really appreciate that. The thumbs down is still viewed as an interaction. Okay. And supports the channel the same as a thumbs up. I say thank you for the thumbs up. Or I say thank you for the thumbs down. I guess all thumbs are good. I don't know. It's still annoying when you see that thumbs down because, like thumbs down on 13-year-old kid building a big block and I get a thumbs down. Like,
I mean,
you got a thumbs down. I didn't get a thumbs down. They don't like what you're doing.
I mean, at least I have a thumb.
How do you feel about that thumbs down? On all that hard work you did and someone's going to say no. How do you feel?
Haters going to hate.
That's all I'm saying. It's funny. I started calling people out on my Instagram, actually. I started highlighting some of the stuff. You got nice stuff, man. Appreciate that. Donnie B, what's up, man? Was just talking about you a little earlier. Welcome into the chat. Yeah, I spoke to Donnie B on the phone, 2 days ago? Yesterday, maybe? He was like, when are you going to do another live? It was just, 2 hours ago. I was like, John, you want to do a live? Okay. And here we are. I used to live in Delmar. Is it Delmar? I thought it was Delmar.
Belmar?
Belmar. Well, yeah, I know Belmar, but he said Delmar. I thought it was Delmar. New Jersey, loved it. Where I grew up, I don't love New Jersey. I'm glad I grew up there. Would not want to go back. He knows what I'm talking about. That's where he lives.
Yeah, it's
yeah. What are your feelings on New Jersey?
I mean, it's okay, but anywhere that's not anywhere.
What's the most
south?
What's the most frustrating thing about living in New Jersey for you?
I mean,
Think on it. Let me get back some comments.
Well, so for the masks at the end of the school year, they told us we don't have to wear masks, but yeah, like Blue Collar Fox said,
okay,
too liberal.
Well, I mean, everyone's different. Everyone's different. What's funny? He's 13 years old. When I knew when I was 13 years old, I knew how to play jet moto and I knew how to throw a baseball and wrestle. I didn't know who the governor was. That just shows our intelligence difference. You are definitely set up for success more than I am.
I mean, you're pretty successful. You've got a YouTube channel.
I got a Turbo Fox. Of course I'm successful. I'm just kidding. Dan, I'm really curious to see how your car picks up if you went to it. Yeah, and I reached out. I don't know I think I mentioned this earlier. I reached out to Blueprint Engines to try and get a set of 205s. AFR 205s would be awesome. But honestly, I feel like that's now with the box R and everything that I have set up, I would say heads is probably my next area that I want to improve on as far as engine power. And then from there, it would really be like the hot side of the turbo setup. I wonder if Neo is surfing in here. Might be. Maybe not, though. I was up in Ohio by Neo a couple weeks ago, actually. And we texted a couple times. It rained a while I was there. And then by the time he was actually free, and it was nice, I was like about to leave that next day. So we didn't get to actually hang out. And I should have texted him to try and stop by the shop, but we were visiting family too, so I didn't get to see Neo. Hey, Donnie B. Haters gonna hate. Yep. Let him hate. Whatever. We're having fun. All right, guys, I'm out. Keep up the great work and content. Hey, Eric Griggs, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate that. Agreed, 100%. How's the car with the box R intake? So the car with the box R intake, I haven't really gotten to fully test it yet. I did a small 6-pound pull, which is when I found the rear control arms were messed up. But I feel like it's flowing. It is definitely flowing a lot better. So I'm really excited to see what we can really pick up. Well, the way I'm going to do is I basically set up in the fuel. I've already adjusted my fuel table. So I'm going to run the same exact tune that I ran when I did my 630 last time at the track. So hopefully, actually, as long as the weather holds out, Wednesday we should be able to go down and test. And so I want to see. I would like to compare apples to apples as best as I could. Obviously, it won't be perfect because it's a different day, different DA. Who knows? But I feel like the Box R is going to perform way better, just based off of what kind of what we've been messing around with so far. Okay, we saw that. I'm going to start in the South. Yeah, the South. I like North Carolina. I like Tennessee too. I don't know. I like places out in the mountains too, though. Like I could definitely live in Colorado, probably.
No, where I want to live?
Where?
I've told you this many times. West Virginia.
Oh yeah.
No one can bother you in the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful there.
Yeah, you know what's weird is like West Virginia gets this bad rap for no reason.
It's a beautiful state.
Yeah, we drive through West Virginia, going up to Ohio and stuff, and I've said that many times too. I absolutely love West Virginia. The mountains and stuff, the scenery, especially in the wintertime. Put me in a cabin on one of them on the side of one of them mountains. I'm good to go. Plus, we passed some racetracks on the way up too. So, traffic, dude. The traffic in Jersey. Oh my God.
It's because of the million tolls, so everyone's got to stop every few miles.
Dude, that's the other thing too. I paid a toll that was $1.90, and I was like, this was a quarter when I was a kid.
And
I used to miss with the. You know what? I used to miss. Right? They had it to where you throw the quarter in the thing. And if you miss, you just beep the horn and keep going. And I figured it out where as long as so my grandpa used to work for the tolls, this was back in the day. He was a toll booth person like way, way, way back in the day. I mean, he's passed on now, but he was like, hey, if you beep the horn, it won't take your picture because it assumes that you missed the toll booth and, you can just keep on going. So I tried it out to where I would drive up, I would throw my hand out the window like I threw some change, wait a second, beep the horn, and then go. And I never got a ticket. My license is probably suspended for all I know now, but I never got a ticket.
It works.
George F., yo, what's up, man? You get that engine running yet? I know you said you got it in the car. You got a good kid. That's a success in itself. Yeah, he's one of, 6? Working on one other, not having that, but one of his brother, we're working on him. That kid's a ball player, though. That kid can throw a baseball. Woof. Nah, Joe's a good kid. They're all. I've been lucky. I have all good kids. Each have their things that they like. They're all different. Andrew's a good kid.
Yeah,
they're all good kids. We got lucky.
But yeah,
we got lucky. No, you know what? I won't say we got lucky. We're just good at what we do. I'm just messing around.
But yeah, Joe's got a cannon.
Yeah, my younger son, he's about 10. That kid can throw a baseball. I was an okay baseball player growing up. People will say that I was really good, but that kid can throw a ball. Better late than never. Yep, up and running, sweet. You got George, you're running the Terminator X2, aren't you? West Virginia is nice. Yeah, I love West Virginia. We love West Virginia. Coyote 5.04 says, man, you're making me want to build my 5.0 and turbo it, but I know I want more when I get there. That's the thing is I've accepted that I will never have enough horsepower and the car will never be fast enough. Hopefully when we get to 599, as long as the thing stays together, even if it doesn't, we'll eventually get there. My buddy already said, he's like, yeah, you're going to get to 599, then you're going to want 499 and so on and so on. But I'm just enjoying the journey. It's a lot of fun, chipping away. I was a quarter mile guy for the longest time, but then once I got doing the 8th mile stuff, it's more rewarding because it's tougher to knock seconds off in the 8th mile because you have 660 less feet to do it. Visit Texas. Fast cars, awesome scenery. Yeah, I've been to Texas many times.
I was really young when we went through Texas, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you were. Well, yeah, you were.
New Mexico and Arizona, I do not recommend driving through there in a Fiat 500. It is a horrible experience.
That wasn't my car, but
Yeah, but
one where I was in Texas, where I really enjoyed it, was Lufkin, Texas. I did a gearbox school down there when I was a marine mechanic, and Lufkin was it was like halfway between Houston and Dallas, I think. We flew into Houston. We went on some random dude's boat in Lake Sam Rayburn and just drank beer and went fishing, and we had a blast. I've never seen this dude open a cooler. It wasn't a cooler. It was like a freezer, a slide open freezer. And it was just full of Miller Genuine Draft. Just there had to be 500 cans in there, ice cold too.
wait, did it have like a slide?
Yeah, slide. It took me back to like the 80s. I felt like I was a kid again. This was probably 2006. This was a while ago. A little before your time. John Doe, I love living in the South. In Florida, we got prepaid tolls. Put a sensor in the window and it charges you. They don't have the Sun Pass. I think it's Sun Pass down there. We have Easy Pass. I use Easy Pass. It's convenient, but what I've actually found out is in Maryland, they don't even do they do like video toll, like every toll booth, you just drive through it and then they send you the bill in the mail.
Did you know Maryland's got a rain tax?
So does New Jersey.
Does?
Yeah. Where do you think they got the idea from?
Didn't New Jersey in like the 18th century and 19th century?
Here we go.
Didn't they call it like where New Jersey anything goes?
I have no idea. Like I say, you know more than me about mostly everything. So
I learned that in music class. I don't know how we got to history. Talk about history in music class, but apparently they did duels in New Jersey. So,
well, yeah, I mean back then, like it was anything goes, right? West Bank is beautiful. Just got to get the tune going. Nice. Okay, yeah, he got the Terminator 6 with the 6.8 Pro Dash. You know what I found out actually, and I'm going to do it. People have been investing in cheap tablets instead of getting like a Pro Dash, which the Pro Dashes are awesome. But for the Terminator X, they've been getting cheap tablets, like $150, $160 tablet off Amazon, and then downloading the Holley software, plugging the USB dongle into it, and then you have the gauge cluster you can pull up, and then basically just using that tablet as a gauge cluster. So you have, instead of spending like good money on the Holley Dash, I mean, which is well worth it because it's pretty awesome. You know, you just have like your little tablet that you can mount, and then you have a cheap-ish dash. Because you can like I've got my gauges different. I've got the one that reads ethanol and some of the other ones.
Boy, I'd have a bigger screen though.
Yeah, it definitely would, especially like for me when I'm racing, because the screen's over here, so I'm like trying to basically drive down the track, but then make sure I'm not. Now I've got it to the point where I can just feel the RPM, and know like roughly where I'm shifting at. But it'd be nice to have that big screen right there. I'm a cop here in Jersey. It's a nightmare. Forget I said that toll booth story, Blue Collar Fox. I definitely threw change in there every time.
He threw extra.
I prepaid for the next times that I was going. In New York, the horn is hooked up to the brake. You know what's funny though, Rob? I've spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia. I've never heard a horn honk so much in my life. They honk the horn for everything. And I also found out, so like here, and I found this out almost the hard way. If you ever find yourself in Southeast Asia, here when you flick the high beams at someone, you're telling them, you can go. I'm giving you the right of way.
Yeah,
no, I knew that. Here. So here I am. It's 2016. I'm driving in Cambodia. I have my license, my Cambodian driver's license. And this guy flicks me the high beams, right? We're driving like at a high rate of speed. And I'm like, oh, he's going to let me go. I quickly found out that when they flick the high beams, that means I'm going. Not I'm letting you go. It means I'm going. Luckily, I dodged that accident. But if any of you find yourself around Southeast Asia and someone's flicking you the high beams coming the other way, just wait. Dan, let Junior at least blip the throttle once in the Stang. He'll never forget. Oh, yeah, he's fired it up and all that stuff. Blue collar, keep that to yourself. Up from upstate New York, right near the Adirondacks. It's beautiful. Yeah, I love it up there. We used to vacation in Lake George all the time. I think that's a little further. It's about 5 hours from where we used to live, but love upstate New York.
It's just the bureaus.
The boroughs?
Bureaus. No, those are two different words.
Yeah, bureau and borough is way different.
Well,
are you talking about a federal agency or
same? Borough, the boroughs, they're the.
Yeah, you're talking about New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he lives upstate.
Yeah, I was saying like the
boroughs
are the
borough, like Spanish for donkey. Burro.
Sorry, I didn't pay attention in Spanish class.
Let's see. Cluckley Motorsports says Terminator X is the way to go for go on the Foxes. It's hard to find them in stock. Yeah, and the dude that came and bought some parts off me today, he's been waiting for 4 months for a Terminator. I got lucky. I've had mine for like a year. What's up, buddy?
Are those like are they affected by the what was it?
The chip thing?
Chip? Yeah.
No, I think they're just behind. I mean, everything's really behind or back ordered, and Holley's honestly too. I think because of the popularity of them as well, especially with the Fox community, it's probably a combination of both. Like they're having a hard time because everything's low on stock, and then But yeah, Terminator X is definitely the way to go. I'm 100% happy. I got lucky. I made the switch about a year. Well, I think it was over a year ago.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to get stuff pop up in my timeline. But yeah, I'm more than happy that I switched to Terminator, especially for what I'm doing. Pip Tyson, sounds like a good idea. 10-inch tablet. Yeah, and I found that out on the Holley forums. So I actually think I have one in the house. I think Andrew's got one that he doesn't use.
Doesn't Lizzie also have an old
I gotta see.
tablet?
As long as it's got a USB, it'll work. But that's a good way.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
And it'll be bigger than the.
That's what I'm saying. And I can mount it right underneath the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And then I could just pull up in here to get. Technically, this. I mean, I could make this flip into a.
I think.
I could just mount this right in the windshield.
I think that'd be too big of a.
Yeah, it'd be a little too big.
Maybe like one of those remember the miniature computer you had for? I think it was before this.
Oh yeah. That's for you.
I'm going eighth grade.
You're not going to high school?
No.
Oh, that's right. You got the late birthday or the early birthday.
Yeah. I decided to get out a bit early. Just get cramped.
He said, I cannot emphasize enough how little I care about traffic violations. I'm a warrant officer, court official. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm past the statute of limitations on that anyway. Plus, there's no way you can prove or they can prove. I doubt they keep videos that long, too. That was probably on VHS. But yeah, that was it. I mean, my grandpa worked for him. He was like, no, don't pay. Just beep the horn. Drive it, smack it one time. No, he ain't driving this car yet. My stepson,
he said,
he swears, he's like, I'm going to buy this car off him. Nope. Paul DeFox says, I agree that a tablet is a much cheaper solution and will work well, but the options on the Pro. Yeah, so that's what I'm for me, just like I just want to read the gauges so the tablet would work well. But yeah, the Pro Dash, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Even though it's expensive, it's worth every penny, in my opinion. I'm not leaving the country. Yeah, no, I love living out in the country. I mean, someone was just firing off a gun right across the road, which is a nightly occurrence here. Sometimes it's us. I ordered my Terminator X in February. Still haven't gotten mine. Bought a used one while I wait. Dang, that's what? It's February, March, it's 5 months, 4 months?
4 months. No, 5 months.
5 months. I got lucky when I bought my Terminator X. It was, I think I waited like 4 days. I bought it off Summit Racing.
Oh, speaking of Summit Racing, in the mail came a catalog.
I bought my Terminator in April, still waiting, George. Yeah. Man, I hope they get ahead of that stuff pretty soon because, I've been seeing the frustrations everywhere. People are talking about like waiting for it and waiting for it. Me, I hate waiting. And speaking of waiting, Jegs, right? I ordered a fuel system like 7 months ago, probably. This was a very long time ago. And it was back ordered. And so I was like, okay, I'll just order something else. So I ordered something else and I canceled the order for them. And today the FedEx driver shows up with a box and I was like, I didn't order anything from Jegs. And it's that fuel system that I ordered 7 months ago. And then I went and looked and was like, sure enough, they charged me a couple $100 for this fuel system, which now I just have to send back. But I mean, that's a heck of a long wait. I ordered it. Yeah, it was last year and it just showed up. It's like a 255 liter fuel pump and like some fuel lines, which obviously I can't use at all.
Get more stickers than normally would, though.
Yeah, and this kid, can we keep the stickers?
Hey,
they're actually nice stickers. I said, take one, keep the stickers, put one on the box. I doubt they want the stickers back. They want the 500 whatever stuff that's in there.
I mean, well, like they could use the stickers to put in another box.
I'm sure Jegs will live without stickers. I think Jegs will live without stickers. Oh, so what issue we run into today with the big block though? Now that I'm looking right there.
Oh,
you can go ahead and talk about that.
So we're putting on the heads, right? And we look at the gaskets. It's missing a hole. So we had to run over to Advanced Auto Parts and grab a different one for what, $40? Because someone put the wrong ones in there.
No, somebody ordered the wrong ones.
Hey,
so apparently, the 78, 79 big blocks. It's weird. I guess for in the 70s, late 70s, the 454 changed. I don't know much about Chevy, so this is a lot of stuff that I had to look up on the internet. But so I looked up the serial number off the block, and it said it was a 78 block. So then I went and ordered, but then when I was ordering the complete gasket kit for it, it had gaskets from 60 whatever to 79. And then the other gasket kit was from like 76 to 90 or something like that. And I was like, well, great, because the 78 falls right in between and it could be both of these. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead. I'll just order this one, knowing like it's going to be the wrong one because I did it. If you ordered it, it would have been the right one.
Well, you could have like looked at it.
No, it didn't have pictures. It just had like, it had pictures, but I couldn't see the head gasket.
Ah.
And so anyway, we had to go get new head gaskets. Luckily they had them in town. But yeah, that was one. So now I got head gaskets for a 454 that we don't need.
I mean, if we ever...
We could actually, I bet you what we could have did was we probably could have drilled a hole because it's just a hole. It's just missing a coolant passage hole. There's really only one on the bottom. I'm assuming, actually, there's a ton of different heads for that thing. So I bet you we could have just took a drilled a couple holes and cut that section out and reuse that. But I'd rather obviously just use like the correct parts.
Yeah.
So that was one challenge we had to get today. What was the other thing? What was the other thing we got to do? The oil filter adapter. No, yeah, everything else went pretty smooth. This kid's engine building. The only thing that I actually did was I had to weld the oil pickup.
Yeah.
It was a press fit, and actually, we had a rough morning because it's a 6,000th press fit, and so basically I had to like hold a wrench, or he had to hold the wrench, and I had to smack it with a hammer. And luckily, I didn't hit his hand, but we got it in, and then I tack welded it really quick, and it worked. Way too long, guys. Yeah, that wait is really sucks, man. I hope you guys. I hope your stuff comes in soon, because like I said, I hate waiting, and it's a really good. If it wasn't such a good system, too, like, I mean, it's such a good system. Guy that came today, he's waiting for his. So he bought he basically bought the Holley Terminator kit, but he bought it used off someone, but it wasn't the Fox specific one. It was just the 937. I think he said the only thing he has to do is splice in. He has to splice something in, or he had to buy an adapter, maybe for the TFI module. But that was the way he went, just because, he was waiting for his kit for so long. I got the one cord you recommend, but that's all. Yeah, and I just ordered that cord off of Donnie B. Luckily, he had them in stock, so he sent it out same day too. So that should actually be here either today. No, not today. Today's Saturday's. Either Monday or Tuesday, I think it said. Valve covers. Yeah, he had the issue with the valve covers. That was just his own issue, though.
Yeah, it's just me being tired, not
you understanding what engine building really is.
Is what?
Frustration and disappointment.
Yeah, I was trying to loosen a bolt that was already loosened.
Yeah, that happens. You know how many times you can go? Well, you could just go on the video and see all the times I messed up with this thing, but mess stuff up, man. Like, it happens. So as long as when we stick it in there, fires up, no oil leaks,
doesn't explode,
doesn't break, doesn't bend anything.
It doesn't get Michael Bay syndrome.
So just by watching what he's been doing on that engine too, there's things where I'm like, double check this like 10 times, and I'll ask him like, did you, what was it today? Oh, it was while he's adjusting the valves. I was like, did you check that push rod? Did you? And he's like, yeah. And then, sure enough, he does. He probably thinks I'm being annoying.
No, it's like you said, it's always good to have someone else. Well, that's when torquing things. But you said to have someone else check for you.
Yeah. I'm trying not to let his head get too big, but he's doing pretty well. You figure he built what? We got an oil pan and a front cover plate to put on, and that thing's done.
Well,
water pump. Okay, 4 more bolts. We can, oil pan, front cover plate, water pump. That's it.
Well, then we got to do like extra stuff,
little stuff once we get it in. But that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing missing off that.
Like the main.
But when did we start it?
Like 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2 days ago. You're 13. You built a 454 in 2 days. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Well, I'm not completely by myself. I had
I'm pointed and I didn't do nothing.
Well, you did like the lifting and.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you
showing me stuff.
But you built that in 2 days. That's what I'm saying. I pointed and you would have been lost if I wasn't like, torque this to this, or this is how you do this. But you physically put all those pistons in. You put all the rods in, you torqued all the rods, you did everything in 2 days. Rob, he said, well, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I'll check you out next time. Appreciate you stopping in, Rob. Yeah, I think we're going to probably wrap it up here soon, too. People are falling off. It's getting somewhat late. We're running out of stuff to talk about. You got stuff to talk about? I'm out of beer. John's out of beer.
No.
Root beer.
I've still got some.
Sierra Mist.
Sierra Mist. We took the, what's it called? The hood off the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Frank Stangs was going to sell me a hood. I don't know. It's just not really a priority for me. So the hood, I mean, we'll just run with no hood. Plus the car runs about 10 degrees cooler because it's not keeping all that heat in. So, I mean, for now, it'll just run with no hood.
10 degrees cooler. So it looks cooler.
It's 100 degrees cooler. But no, I did notice with no hood, I mean, it lets the heat escape more because there's nothing keeping it down in. I'm sure with a cowl hood, it would probably run a little cooler too.
Yeah, but it's definitely less aerodynamic though, because it's all.
Does it look like we care about aerodynamics?
I mean, it could affect, like you said, like 0.0 when we were playing that game, the no limit game. Yeah. 0.01 milliseconds counts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Well, you ready to get out of here? 9:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you got something to talk about. No.
I went through 3 things of brake cleaner today.
Yeah. What did you go through? The 3 things of brake cleaner on? You told me
to clean the distributor, all the
cobwebs
and stuff.
This kid, hold on.
The intake valve.
I got a case of brake cleaner. This needs to be put out there. Got a case of brake cleaner. And I was like, hey, bud, go clean out the valve covers. I mean, they had some cobwebs and stuff on them. Go clean out the valve covers. They're a little dirty. Don't worry about the top. And I hear him for like 5 minutes straight. I'm like, what is this kid doing? I go out there and he's spraying these valve covers like he's trying to eat off of them, like the top, and I was like, dude, just the inside.
Like, look nice.
So my case of brake clean is now basically gone.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your brake cleaner.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. All the smell. He was outside, and I started smelling brake clean in the shop or the garage, and I was like, "What the heck is this kid doing?" And the best part was he had when he finished, he had all the brake clean cans just what are you doing? Luckily, it was a case that was given to me, so yeah. It wasn't but still,
they're like big can. It's almost
that's the other thing too. It's not like it's a massive can of brake clean.
It's almost like they're bags of chips. They're not full.
No, they're not full of it. They were full of brake clean, and you ruined them. That wasn't a big deal. Actually, we need to take a wire brush to this. But let's see. Great stream. Really enjoyed it. Hey, Paul, thanks for stopping in. He's laughing at our story. Yeah, we have a good time, man. This kid. Cleckley Motorsport. Blue Car Fox said, good stuff, guys. Enjoy it. Talk to you later. Hey, thanks for stopping in, man. Cleckley Motorsport said, I have a hood that I got from Neo that I'm probably not going to use. Next time you're up near Ohio, stop by and pick it up. Hey, yeah, I mean, we'd love that. The brake clean. Yeah, I got no brake clean now.
I mean,
your valve covers look great, though. I'll just say that. They are so clean. They're the cleanest valve covers here.
We've got three more bottles of brake clean.
I'm pretty sure you melted the aluminum down. That's how much brake clean you used.
Hey, but it looks good.
Yeah, it looks great. Valve covers look great.
It's we got 2 cobwebs off. That's at least 10 horsepower.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to take off. Thanks for the great live stream. Yeah, Paul, we're wrapping up. I just had to tell that brake clean story. I couldn't believe this kid, but it was funny. We'll like I said, I got a lot, probably a couple videos going on him, and then I got one more. I'll probably throw this one together tomorrow about this car. But yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it for this one, guys. You got anything left to say before we take off? No. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate it. Love the conversation. This was a lot of fun, as always. Take care. We'll try and do it again next Saturday. Or no, next Saturday will be a dig or die. So we'll do it at some point. So anyway, guys, thanks for stopping in. We'll see you guys later.